We already talked about what M is. M is slope. And slope is rise over run. That's really important because now we're going to start graphing. Okay? We haven't talked about what that B is. So B stands for the y-intercept. Okay? That's it. So when we start graphing, we're always going to start with our B. So you start with your y-intercept. From that point, you then do your slope. Okay, so you start with your y-intercept, and then you're going to go to slope. You have to have, at a minimum, 3 points. Now, if you ask me, hey, Ms. Beck, can I do 5 points? Absolutely. Ms. Beck, can I do 2 points? No. You have to have 3 points. One of those points has to be your y-intercept. Okay, and then in general, we do one to the right of the y-intercept and one to the left of the y-intercept. Another biggie is that you need to convert into y equals, okay, because it has to be in y equals mx plus b. So here's a couple examples on how to convert into y equals mx plus b. So let's say we have 3x plus 6y equals 12. All right, we're looking for y. So this is like literal equations. We would subtract 3x first. And this is why we dropped down our 6y. This is why I was saying that you always need to rewrite it with your variable first. So this would be a negative 3x plus 12. All right, then I would divide both sides by 6. So now, y equals negative 3 divided by 6. I can put that in my calculator, or you can just use your brain. That's negative 1/2 x. And then a positive 12 divided by 6 is a positive 2. So if I were to straight up ask you, hey, what is your slope? You would just say my slope equals negative 1/2. Hey, what's your y-intercept? My b, or my y-intercept, is a positive 2. Which, remember, we would write that as a ordered pair. So that would be 0, 2. Okay? Let's see, they gave us 4x minus 6y equals 18. Okay, so we would subtract 4x. We have a negative 6y equals negative 4x plus 18. And then we would divide both sides from negative 6. Okay, those would cancel. Y equals a negative and a negative is a positive. 4 divided by 6 is 2/3. If you don't believe me, put it in your calculator. X. A positive and a negative is a negative. 18 divided by 6 is 3. And then if I said, hey, what's your slope? You would say my slope is 2/3. My y-intercept is negative 3. Which is the same thing as 0, negative 3. Alright, so let's actually start graphing. Alright, so y equals 1/3 x minus 2. So lucky for us, that is already in y equals mx plus b. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to find your y-intercept first. Oops. Negative 2. Now you can put it as a ordered pair, but honestly for graphing you don't have to worry about it. And then my slope, my m, geez, wrong with me. Alright, my slope, which is m, which is equal to rise over run, equals 1/3. So I always start with my y-intercept. So I'm going to go to the y-axis, and I'm going to plot negative 2. So the y-axis, I go down to negative 2. That's my first point. Now, my slope is 1/3. I rise 1, I run 3. Rise 1, run 3. Rise 1, run 3. And then I do the opposite. So if I was rising 1, running 3, I'm now going to fall 1, go to the remember, go ahead and finish it up with your arrows. Now remember, you do not have to do all those points. You have to have a minimum of 3. So at a minimum, I need to see these 3 points. So the y-intercept, one to the right, one to the left. But let's get real until we become comfortable. Just go ahead and do all of them for your whole thing. Also, if I were you, I would invest in some graph paper, or you're just going to become a master at coordinate planes. And it's real easy, guys. You just do this, and you'll become really fast at it, like this. Alright, here's the next one. Alright, so y equals -4/3 x minus 1. So it's already in y equals mx plus b for me. I take the y-intercept first, which is a -1. And then I'm going to take the slope, which is rise over run. I told you if there's a negative out in front, just put it at top. So that's -4/3. So my y-intercept is -1, so I go down to -1 on the y. And now, this is a negative slope. So remember, we need to be going downhill. So if I have a -4 rise, that's really falling 4. So I need to fall 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I need to run 3. 1, 2, 3. Fall 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Run 3. And then do the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Last thing I do is I connect my dots and do your arrows. Next one. Alright, so it's in y equals mx plus b for me. Lucky me. So I'm going to go ahead and find my y-intercept, which is 2. Then I'm going to find my slope, which is rise over run, which is 4. Now remember, slope is going to be a fraction. So I can think, okay, what can I put 4 over so where it's still 4? The answer is 1. So if you have an integer, which is just a number, not a fraction, you need to put it over 1. So I go to the y-intercept first to a +2. And now I need to rise 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, run 1. Rise 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, run 1. Rise 4, or fall 4, 1, 2, 3, left 1. 4, 1, 2, 4. Okay. And honestly, the last step, I would say, is you check, okay, I'm going up the mountain, so I should have a positive slope, which I do have. So I'm good to go. Next one. Once again, it's already in y equals mx plus b. Remember, if you don't have a coefficient, put your 1 there, please. So now your y-intercept is a +3. And your slope, m, which is rise over run, is -1. Once again, if it's not a fraction, put it over 1. So I go to the y-intercept to +3. 1, 2, 3. And then remember, if it's a -1, if I'm rising a -1, I'm really falling 1 over 1. And so forth. And connect your dots. And example 5. All right, so, and actually we're going to do one more example. Let me actually, really quickly, copy. We'll do one more after this. Sorry. I want to give you one more example. All right, so this is not y equals mx plus b. So like we did a minute ago, we've got to convert it. So I need to make it y equals, so I subtract 4x over. I have a -2y equals a -4x minus 10. Now I divide both sides by -2. Those cancel. Y equals a negative and a negative is a positive. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then x. Negative and a negative is a positive. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now it's in y equals mx plus b. So my y-intercept is 5. And my slope, which is rise over run, is 2. plotting that, my y-intercept is a positive 5, so go up 5 on the y-axis. And then my slope is up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and then I do the opposite. Down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1, and so forth. Remember, at a minimum, 3 points, and you have to have that one to the right, one to the left. And last one, this is the one I forgot to write. Y equals negative 3/4 x. We're going to start talking about directed inverse variation at the end of this unit, but before we get there, if you look at it, you're like, y equals mx plus b. Well, we've got an mx. If you don't have a b, all you have to do, guys, is just say, okay, well, 0. So now, your y-intercept is 0, and your slope, which is the same thing as right over run, is negative 3 over 4. So now I go to 0, which is just the origin. And then I need to fall 3, run 4. Fall 3, run 4. And then the opposite. Up 3, left 4. Up 3, left 4. Connect your dots and draw your arrows. And that is slope intercept